Hello, and thanks for joining us on People's Politics and Power on Africa Independent Television, AIT. It is a program designed for the purpose of building national unity and cohesion amongst Nigerians. The program also centers on forging a way for a better Nigeria, where justice, equity, and fairness thrives. Of course, it is one that puts Nigeria on the table for us to take a look at it and see how better we can run the country for our children and our children's children, those who are coming behind us, to say indeed they had parents, they had leaders, they had citizens who ran the country, handed over to them in good peace. Abokiria Agbonsuremi, one of the regular presenters of the program. Nigerians have been generally interested in talks about restructuring, even as agitations for fairness and protests against regional marginalization continue to be the voice of many citizens from various regions and across Nigeria. The debate for and against restructuring of the Nigeria has of recent dominated more than every other issue in Nigeria. Of course, you have been following and you know what we are talking about. But what exactly is your understanding of the restructuring of Nigeria that has dominated the communication space in the past 10 weeks or thereabout? Some persons believe that the agitation for restructuring of Nigeria centered around three things. One, marginalization, dominance of others in their regions and resources, as well as the opportunity of distribution of the resources that we have. The questions that naturally arise center around the call for the restructuring that you want to have on the table are: what do Nigerians understand with the term restructuring? Now, can these agitation by many Nigerians from different quarters be resolved, and how do we resolve them? We have in the studio a politician. Of course, I will just quickly tell you he's a member of the APC. A political analyst who has been investigating these issues about restructuring in Nigeria. And one other thing I will tell you is that Ayo Bami Oyalowo is forthright and he can be straight to the point on the issues that he believes in. But he's not alone on the program. We have a man who is angry on behalf of the original indigenes of the FCT in Abuja. Pastor Jeji Danladi is the president of Regional Inhabitants Development Association of the FCT. They are the baggies. They are the ones that make up they lived in this place called Abuja that has been transformed now as the original inhabitants. They have the graves of their forefathers right in here. They have clamored and said they have been cut off in the scheme of things in the FCT, and they are like orphans whose father is close by, who are close to the stream, but they don't have any water to drink. Pastor Jeji Daladi and Ayo Bami Oyalowo, thank you so much for joining me on the program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for that. Let's begin with our own definition. Let's see what we have, because that is the first question we always ask our guests here. The definition of restructuring coming from it, when some persons define restructuring, you can always close your eyes and know where they are coming from, the background, the ethnic nationality that they belong to, and what they have had and their experiences. Let me begin from Pastor Daladi. What does restructuring mean to you?
Thank you very much. This August period, and my name is already stated. I'm Pastor Jeji Danladi. The word restructuring is, I think, and we original inhabitants, I want to even start with their introduction, that they are already creating challenge with the word restructuring in FCT. When you say the badges, because this Federal Capital Territory that we are having today was the homework of our visionary leader that existed in 1973. in 1976, Murtala Muhammad, who declared and gave a committee, a Agoda panel channel lead, and found out that there are Baji, Bari, Gede, Gana, Gwandara, Basa, Igbira, Koro, Amama in Federal Capital Territory, and they are the people that have been here even before what we call Nigeria existed in 1914.
So it's not just the baggies, that's what you are trying to do.
When you say the baggies, that already is already creating trouble of restructuring. Because when you begin to let Nigerians to think that baggies are here, I'm a baggy person. Already I already started causing dichotomy in our people. And the Agoda panel report about the Federal Capital Territory that Nigeria, that visionary leader, Murtala Muhammad, had said Nigeria capital in Lagos was no more conducive. There should be a political capital, and then which will be down in Abuja. Then the commercial capital now will be in Lagos. A similar capital should be in Kaduna and Port Harcourt, so that Nigeria will have a quadrilateral system of development. Nigerians threw it to the dustbin immediately after the assassination of Murtala Muhammad. But our wisdom leader too, Obasanjo, took the matter and corrected it by saying that there are actually people here, and he gave a white paper in 1978. Now, when it was given with his prayer was that 1979 Constitution will have a clear structure already in that embryo when Nigeria was still coming up strongly. But everything went on to drain. Obasanjo did his work as a military officer. After 2 years, he gave to Shagari to took the 1979. Now, when he now took the power, and then he now started the structuring and created Nigeria, he was coming. Shagari now said the best thing to do with Nigeria to have a balanced development was to have Nigeria Federal Capital Territory actually develop as it has been handed over to him by the visionaries. Now, when it was done, Shagari now said the Federal Capital Territory that is having 8,000 square kilometers of land, it should be divided into two, because even the Lagos is only 3,700 square kilometers of land. So the Nigerian capital is too large. The population already existing here was 450,000 households, and 2.8 billion was needed to compensate them, and it was not done. So because of the economic situation then. So that was the beginning of the whole mess. So Shagari now said, okay, let them...
What do you mean by compensation?
Compensation that the farmer, people, original inhabitants living here, their farm produce should be compensated so that they can now actually live and vacate the territory, so that we will now have a real...
Where were they supposed to be moved to?
The idea of the report was that these 9 languages are having similar relationships with the state that federal
borders around
that they can equally be. And now you are having almost 42 years. These people, we are still here today, and nothing has been done.
Were there people that were moved at all during that time? Were there people that were moved?
Who moved them? And why are we here?
No, I'm asking, were there any effort to actually move anybody?
That is why we are bringing restructuring. Nigerian ways started thwarting restructuring when they handpicked few people and then told the country that everybody is removed. For example, you have Karo, you have Wuse, New Wuse, and that's how we say, hey, they remove. But today, Millennium Development Goal did the community study in FCT in 2008.
I want those who are watching to understand. Were there people that were moved at all? Whether they have... I
have told you now that we have New Karo.
New Karo?
Yes, and Wuse.
Yeah, and Wuse. That's all.
Basically.
Okay. Then those new Karo are outside of the picture of
the 8,000 square kilometers of land.
And that Karo is in Nasarawa State.
It's not Nasarawa State, and the new Wuse is in.
So in effect, some of the people who are living in New Karo now were actually originally in this FCT.
That was the Agoda report, and it was almost started by the government to implement, but they fell on the way.
Okay.
So after that, now Shagari now wanted to arrest it by saying, okay, let the federal capital city exist and have the federal capital present, where we are now having the federal capital that we're having today. And then
I also, sorry sir, I will be coming to Yalo. I also know that at some point we now talked about integration. Instead of evacuation, when I said, look, we can't move them out because of the money, let us do integration. What manner of integration was done?
The question now was that since the quantum of people were too large, even that amount was not available. Let Nigerians, and the Obasanjo has already said, we are the citizens of the FCT, then let the federal capital territory exist. The federal capital city will resume the federal capital place, and the Shagari now build the state character in Gwagwalada, today is still existing. So that these FCT people now will have its belonging and have an actual development to come together. After that,
was that also done?
He started it, and then who came? Our brother, our father, today, Baba Buhari, became the person who took over the matter and continued with it. But suddenly everything crumbled. Today he is in power.
No, I will be coming to you. I'll be coming to you because we have a lot of questions to ask with regard. Now I'm beginning to understand why there's a lot of agitation amongst the original inhabitants in Abuja. Let's come to Ayo Yalowo. Apart from being a politician, you also know Nigeria. You know where we are coming from. Yeah. The picture of let's leave FCT and talk about restructuring generally, because FCT is just one of the issues. Yes. What do we do? What's your own definition? What do you understand by restructuring?
Well, it has become a very loud cry. You really can't hide from the word restructuring. It has become like the new war cry. And fortunately, the government in power have realized that, whether out of patriotism, whether selfishness, no matter what it was, you must listen. And that was what gave birth to the committee headed by the governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai,
to collate
the different agitations. So that, you see, if I ask 10 people today what is structuring, you will get different answers.
Definitions.
So in order to have a codified and a proper roadmap, that look, these are the most important issues that we need to restructure. At least I know, for me, as someone who works around the economy area, I would want more fiscal federalism. If you ask me for restructuring, that would be my own definition. If you ask another person, he wants resource control.
Devolution of powers and a lot of that.
Devolution. So everybody have. So right now, what the committee is doing now is to collate completely what every aspect, to collate every aspect of restructuring based on needs. So I am sure by the time they are done with their work, the government will now have a clear focus on what the people want and how to go about giving to them. Because the truth, like I said, it doesn't matter what the intentions are. As long as the people are agitating for it, you definitely have to at least listen.
I'm surprised. I don't want to put you on the spot here. I'm surprised that it took the agitation for the government to come about with restructuring, when actually the manifesto of the APC has devolution of powers as part of, in fact, number one item on the manifesto.
Well, I remember the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, was asked something similar, and he told the country something that is very pertinent. He said, look, what is the biggest problem of Nigeria right now? When we came in, security was a serious issue. Okay. That was what he said. I'm trying to paraphrase. I can't say I quote exactly. But what he was saying was that security was a serious problem.
That's true.
And you cannot lie about it. I mean, I was in Abuja then. It got to a point I don't even go to church on Sunday because you don't know what church next is going to go on flames. Go up in flames. Bombing everywhere. So it was...
You don't expect the government to have been talking about it.
Exactly. You have to face the issues that are pertinent. When they dealt with the biggest, although you cannot say you have cleared the security problem because you will always have security
problem. But at least
substantially, a lot of things have been done. We cannot see it. Now, economy problem setting. Oil price that was our mainstay plummeted to about $25 per barrel, such that it was a huge challenge. So you have to understand that problems will always come, and when they come, the most challenging ones will have to be handled. So the economy was being handled, and right now, since the noise have gone, of course, restructuring is an issue, but it's not the bread that the youth need. You remember that when they came in. When the government came in, the youth unemployment rate was huge. They had to look for ways to at least ameliorate, even if you can't totally solve it. That's where the Empower issue came about, the school feeding. So when they had to when they dealt with all those ones, you now say, okay, let's deal with restructuring. Now, the committee is working, and hopefully, I think they have I can't remember the time, but I know they have a time frame. So by the time they submit their report, we will know what the focus will now be. So for me, I think the government has done the right thing, listening to the people. When the people say this is what we want, at least listen to them. Even the National Assembly tried its own way. They also tried to amend some part of the constitution, even though we all know how it all ended. Yeah. But I'm sure by the time they come back from their recesses, these are issues they will look into. Because if that is what Nigerians think is very important, then you have to give it to them. But for me, like I said, the moment we have some form of very serious fiscal federalism, then we will say, okay, we are looking at it. Because when the government came in, also, you also remember, 27 states could not pay salaries. They were owing between 6 to 18 months salary. This government had to give 2 bailouts, 1 Paris refund, 2nd Paris Club refund, right now being undertaken. So those are issues that we are met on ground. So we have to be very fair. That it's not like they deliberately abandon restructuring.
They say when, in my place, they say when a tree fall on top of a tree.
It's the big one that
the one on top first remove.
Exactly. That's what I think.
That is what they say. Let me, before I come to the clips that we have for you, let me come to Pastor Danladi. Yeah. When we talk about restructuring, how does the person, the original inhabitants in the FCT, how do they perceive of it?
We see another vocabulary has come. The one that are existing we have never gotten, and the government is bringing another one again. See, the vocabulary.
But it's not the government. The people that have been speaking restructuring now. The government have to listen.
Our ground norm is the Constitution. The Constitution have told the National Assembly to make even viable, make Section 303 workable in FCT. That is, there should be political and democratic structure in FCT. There was unrest and insecurity problem. What was the political and democratic structure that was in FCT that, well, and you said the APC have tried to do it. What are we? It has never been. The National Assembly that has the mandate to do that. This is an 8th dispensation. It's never on motion.
I think, but I think the House of Rep is supposed to be like the lawmaking body for the FCT.
My brother.
No, I'm asking, isn't that what
the National Assembly said that
the House of Rep is supposed to be
for the FCT?
For the FCT. So I don't think there's a vacuum there.
No, they cannot even make laws. They cannot make the FCT.
Let me talk, sir.
Okay.
This is democracy.
Yeah.
Government of what? Of the people. By the people.
And for the people.
For the people.
So, FCT, we are not a people. This is the National Assembly that will make law for us.
This is your laughter.
No, it's
my laughter. Please. You see, the thing is this. We are just saying that since it's democracy, and we are taking democracy thing, if nobody can do it, since change has come, let's change this and make us have democracy.
Okay, we are going to come back to I think the FCT issue is a very serious one. We'll be coming to it. Let us, usually on this program, we take some policy statements made by prominent Nigerians on the unity of the country. Just 24 hours ago, the Independent National Electoral Commission organized a 2-day capacity building workshop for legal advisors, treasurers, and organizing secretaries of the 45 political parties in Nigeria in order to ensure compliance with relevant laws and regulations guiding the operation of political parties. The workshop was the second in the series of the activities the Commission drew up to enhance capacity within the political parties towards the 2019 general elections. Let's take some clips from that workshop and other aspects of the issue on focus. We'll come back and then we'll deal with some of the issues on ground. Please stay with us.
This set of party executives were specifically selected to address the following challenges in the management of political parties. First is capacity for compliance with relevant laws and regulations guiding the registration and operations of political parties. 2 is understanding of and compliance with party and campaign finance rules and regulations. And 3, organizational skills necessary for effective management of political party activities, including congresses, conventions, and primaries. This second leg of the capacity building workshops is indicative of the Commission's commitment in collaboration with the UNDP and other donor organizations to effective and constructive engagement with political party executives towards building the institutional capacities of all political parties in Nigeria. There are ongoing consultations by the Commission towards cascading these and other capacity building workshops to the level of state party executives across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. The Inter-Party Advisory Council is being carried along in the process of all of these discussions, parties. I believe that when these key functions are effectively administered, the results will be self-evident in the functioning of political parties and how they and the candidates that they present for elections are perceived by the electorate. Towards this end, it is imperative to emphasize some key areas that need special attention in addressing the gaps in capacity and efficacy of political parties in the country. These include lack of or limited internal democracy in terms of electing party executives, selecting candidates for office, and formulating policies and making decisions. 2, insufficient inclusivity in terms of absence or deliberate policies to promote participation of key social groups, including women, youths, and people with disabilities. There is general lack of transparency in the funding and expenditures of political parties and campaign expenses. 4th is that there is absence of internal mechanisms for mediation and dispute resolution. Finally, we observe limited deliberate compliance with relevant provisions of party constitutions, the Electoral Act, and other such regulations guiding political party activities. You will agree with me that all of these are critical areas and challenges that affect the roles and functions of legal advisors, organizing secretaries, and treasurers of political parties.
Media has a lot of role to play. I thought I could make this point. Beyond this, based on what I've seen, I also thought maybe I could say a little bit with what is happening in our country today. All we are talking about, we want to save this little money that we have. We want to get value. We want to see these God-given resources that we have is well utilized so that we'll be able to overcome and go through these challenges. And I felt, given opportunity to talk to young people today, I might even add a little bit more and tell you maybe what is going on, and maybe ask you, please pay attention. We as Nigerians must also stand to be counted on the intractable issue which poses a bigger challenge, the corruption malaise. Importantly, at a time like this, when a clear line is emerging, demarcating agents of progress and those bent on stopping them as citizens, we have a duty not to be on the fence, but make a clear choice between those contending forces. Right now, what is happening in our country, we have a situation, imagine, where few individuals with massive courage making a difference. Every single day you will see, you hear, young Nigerians, inconsequential Nigerians, recovering billions getting back money to government and to those who owns it. We are also seeing an attempt to stop it. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, it's serious. Please pay attention to it. There is no doubt that the current anti-corruption regime in the country is working. We have seen the feat attained in recent past and the ongoing effort to stall it. However, Nigerians must take a stand between those who are working diligently, like I said, to get back our stolen money, and those who are poised to scuttle and stop it. We are witnessing essentially a classical case of state capture in which individuals, including those in high public office, use their position to undermine the state and its policies because of their personal interests.
The Nigeria of our dream, the Nigeria we need, is the united, indissoluble and cohesive Nigeria which guarantees equity, fairness, justice and prosperity for its citizens. That is our focus on people, politics and power. It is fresh, insightful, impactful. It's a must-watch. People, politics and power on AIT. Join us to build bridges of unity.
You are still onto the program, People, Politics and Power, and I have my guests in the studio. You probably have seen those clips from Ribadu talking about the corruption war being good, but that there are efforts, some attempts to derail it. Well, we just wanted to give you that clips, and then the clips from the Independent National Electoral Commission on the political parties. But let's come back to the issue that we have on the table. You also have listened to Pastor Danladi talking passionately about how the people, the original inhabitants of the FCT, have this change in the course of time. And when you say restructuring, it is a vocabulary that they are finding difficult to quickly appreciate. But let me begin with Yalawo. Yalawo, what do you think is the challenge of the original inhabitants? Haven't heard from him. What do you think are the challenges of the original inhabitants of the FCT in terms of getting them on the table in Nigeria?
Yeah, you know, off the camera I was saying something, and I'm going to repeat exactly what I said. The people of the people who say they are the original inhabitants.
Is it that they said they are they are the one? We met them here now.
Well, yeah, you can't say. I can claim original inhabitant too. But jokes apart, yes, they need to sit down as a group, articulate a position. You see, you don't box the air. When you are doing anything you are doing, there must be an end game to where you are going. So my advice to the people in Abuja, the original inhabitant of Abuja, is for them to sit down as a group, because from what he analyzed now, enumerated earlier, you can easily say there are about 10 or 9 different broad groups from the people he has called.
Yes, yes.
And some of them have affinity to neighboring states.
The states.
So now they will now need to sit down and say, okay, this is exactly what we want. Do you want to be assimilated into Abuja? Do you want a state? Do you want to be assimilated into other states with compensation? Do you want? I mean, they must have what they want. They can't just be agitating. I mean, agitation is fine, but what is the end product of agitation? Because for me, it has to be simple, it has to be achievable, and then it has to be realistic. So those are the things I think.
I think from my own study, from my own, I will let Pastor Daladi to answer it. But just before he comes, so that I think there are quite a lot of things that they have asked for. They have actually had a lot of the papers. I've read papers, some demands that they have specific demands. Some of them are broad, and they have. Let me listen. Let's take it away from. Let me not take it away from Daladi. Is it that we have not really articulated, or we have articulated something that we have on paper that we're asking the government to do? Pastor.
Thank you very much. I think maybe in a simple, clear definition of what original inhabitant people want. Since Nigeria are trying to behave like chameleon that we don't even know we are here. The simple thing Nigerian inhabitant want is this. 2019 is coming. Everybody will elect head of state. The day will come, you will elect our governors. All FCT people will stay at home. Please.
They don't have a governor.
That thing should not happen again.
No, let us be specific. They don't have a governor.
I never finished now.
Okay.
The constitution that has crafted this situation have already said that FCT is a state and the head of state is the governor of FCT. Please, Nigerian constitution change it before then.
So that
we will also be able to elect our governor here.
Okay, you want a governor for the FCT?
It's not we. The constitution has given us governor. That the head of state is a governor.
Okay, you don't want the head of state to be your governor?
We are begging him to lead that situation. How can the head of state be the governor of FCT? And it is in the constitution. Which constitution behave like that in Nigeria, in the entire world? And then Nigeria are saying, what do we want? Nigeria know the bottom line is that original inhabitants are begging and talking like this because we want a situation that since the capital of Nigeria and Nigeria is a giant of Africa should demonstrate democracy in action. We want to be part of democracy.
But can I just quickly cut in here? If there's a change in the constitution today,
yes,
and we now ask the president to cede the power of governor that he has over FCT to an elected governor,
yes,
the original inhabitants are not likely to get that governor.
What we want now, since FCT existed, who make law for FCT?
It's the National Assembly.
Who make law for the states?
The state is the State Assembly. Okay,
FCT, while in the National Assembly, all that are in the National Assembly are there to protect their constitution that they come from.
Yes, I agree with you.
And then,
so you also want a State Assembly.
Besides that, even the Constitution has told the National Assembly that you are making law for your constituency. Have a democratic and political structure for the FCT. They have not done that.
Okay, now we have two demands now. You have a governor for the FCT, you have a State Assembly for the FCT.
Clear.
Now, but the question of the political thing, like he said, political expediency, we have to know what will benefit the original inhabitants. If we have a State Assembly for the FCT,
yes,
and we have a governor,
yes,
remember that Agbon Suremi has lived in this place for close to, I can contest to be governor of this FCT. Is that okay for the inhabitants?
Of course, if we have governor, but I mean we have the ownership of the place now. What I'm saying, everybody that is in state have their own state apparatus. FCT have nothing to say.
Are you going to ask me to go to Edo State that I should not contest?
That is not I can be on Edo State and also contest.
Yes.
And somebody can be here and contest. But here, if you contest here, you don't even contest here because you don't have that room. Okay. Besides,
we
want. The constitution says we need the structure is supposed to be.
The only thing is that the occupants of those structure now
have to refuse to create that. Okay. Besides, sir, the greatest and the most important thing that even if the government Nigeria are thinking, okay, there are too plenty problem. What stops Nigerian government not to say, okay, FCT people, here is a development commission for you people so I can help you.
Development Commission.
Yes.
FCDA is bigger than any development.
Even FCDA, yes, Federal Capital Development Authority of the Territory. No, yes, not the people.
Okay, the inhabitants.
Yeah.
How are you going to couch that? Because I'm taking from his own advice that it should be realistic.
Let me tell you why it is like that. We are talking like that because we believe that Nigeria is not the first country that has ever removed capital from a place to another place. Okay, all other countries have done that. Is it the way that other countries did?
Okay, let us trash this last one. Yes. When you say we have FCT Development Commission
so that they would cater,
is it going to cater for the inhabitants?
Basically,
yes.
So that if the government, give them states, even the constitution says so, you don't want that, give them commission.
Can't FCDA perform that role?
Since the exception of FCDA, what have they done for FCT? Which law have they for the people that live in FCT? Even a policy for them.
They are only making laws that will make the...
There is a village in Abuja here, yeah, my brother, that is called Jiba in Kuje, having 8 classes with only one teacher teaching the whole school.
And the teacher is a secretary?
The teacher is a clerk.
He's a clerk.
You see, another funny thing that is happening here, all the 36 states have their universities, and the children are having their catchment area in the universities. FCT University that is here, the catchment area of all the universities in the Federation universities are having catchment area. But Abuja University, the catchment area is Nigeria. And no only other Nigerian university is having FCT people at heart. My child, they have to tell him that if you want to get a university, why didn't you go and claim Niger since people were there to claim Niger? Because nobody is an FCT.
Because you don't have a catchment area.
And the constitution doesn't say that.
I think I get what the problem. I think
the Nigerian know, but because of, you see, the problem we're having is that our country cook a situation and through to the elites in such a way that the elites accepted that they are getting a free land, that even a criminal who has stolen Nigerian money, if he has a land in Abuja, he can be given bail. Therefore, but if he has land in any state, he has no bail. The impression Nigerian government is sending the whole world is that FCT doesn't belong to anybody, and yet we are here. 2006 census revealed that there are 1,405,201 people in FCT. You make people without law, no primary school law, no educational law, no agricultural law, and they are farmers. You didn't relocate them, and yet we are talking like this as parents. Our children will not be able to talk like this. Please.
Okay.
Make hay when the sun is down.
You are getting the...
I get this picture. And I think while some are not very this way, but some of them are actually reasonable. I mean, looking at the educational stuff, like he gave example right now, that's quite unfair. While I don't know about having a development commission, I think there must be more effort to be put into letting them have a sense of belonging. For instance, I remember this catchment area thing too when I was going to the university then, and I think it's important.
It's a big issue.
It's a big issue. So for me, those are areas that I think government need to look. So there must be concise ways that we can address these issues. While I may see that maybe areas like having a governor, I don't know how feasible those are, but I think areas that has to do with their human development need to be handled. Like for instance, the FCDA thing that you said. Why don't FCDA become more empowered to handle? Because we can't continue to open commissions. Southeast, if we have small problem, oh yeah, let's have a commission. Southwest, oh yeah, let's have it. We can't. But since you already have something close to that, why not have an aspect of that, expand it to be able to cater for them? Because for me, it is true that human beings must be catered for. And for the fact that, I mean, this issue of that school thing you said, this is not the first time I'm hearing it. I've heard it before. That there was one school that has only one teacher. Teacher is not even a qualified teacher.
Yes.
So those are areas that you have to look into because they are human beings too. And like you rightly put, like you posited earlier on, it may look funny. But the truth is, it doesn't affect only original inhabitants. Even the poor people who are not part of the airline, who live in Abuja, who may not qualify to be under the umbrella, will suffer the same fate as they. So for me, I think there must be a concise and a definite action to this area. But I think we shouldn't consign all our restructuring thing with only Abuja. The entire Nigeria wants restructure. We have to
when we have an original inhabitant of FCT who is obviously very angry on behalf of his people, we need to also give him we need to give him opportunity to talk about. Now let's just quickly wrap up on the FCT, and then we come to how the FCT will play the general role of a beautiful federal capital, so that we don't have angry people around, those who believe they are not they are marginalized. Pastor, yes. Now the takeaway from what you have said so far is that the original inhabitants of the FCT, they are dissatisfied. Can you tell us how many do you think? I don't say how many do you think you know. I mean, do you think are you? How many by estimates are the original inhabitants in Abuja today? And what's the percentage of the total number of people who are living in Abuja? I'm using what I know based on Nigerian constitution. Census result. Yes. 2006 is 1,405,201. That's including me. Yes. But no. When you say including you, yes, that's a question mark, because every time Nigeria is doing census, all Nigerians will go over to their state. After the census,
I didn't go to my own state.
No, wait. That means every celebration, FCT is dry.
Yes, even when they are doing elections.
So even when they are doing election, the idea, what we are even saying is.
But are you trying to suggest that that number predominantly represents the original inhabitants?
Basically, because even if you use statistics and go back to history, where Obasanjo discovered that there are 450,000 households.
Yeah, if you do the multiplication over the years,
which is really 1,405,201 people according to 2006 census, and we're coming to 2016. I mean, 17 or 18 now.
That's about 11 years
ago. What I'm saying, 18. The census that is going to be that is.
No, I'm saying we are looking at the current figure.
Okay.
So you are saying the figure not around 2 million or thereabouts.
2 million thereabouts. And now if you're having people 2 million and the structure is not fully there for them. By the way, let me even ask. And you are saying commission, it will be too much. The entire country, everybody has somewhere he say this is where he's live or where he come from. This is why we come.
Are you aware that there is a move in the National Assembly and generally as part of the general debate that we should remove state of origin to state of residence, place of residence? And when you say place of residence, it removes everything, this indigenization you are talking about. It makes it possible for you to go and reside in Kogi, in Edo. Once you have lived in a particular period, it should be set, just like in the United States, you are free to contest election in that area.
Let me even tell you, let me help you one thing. You know, the word indigenous is Nigeria that created. It's not even in any vocabulary per se. The issue that is in existence is either native or original inhabitant of people. But Nigerians, when you
we carve out indigenous,
so that when it comes to favoring government,
but would that one help the original inhabitant? If we say
if we want to do that, okay, is it because original inhabitant want to have it?
No, it's not because of you. They have always been there. That even some of us have agitated that we should remove this term. Place of residence, what do you call it? State of origin. We should not be talking about state of origin.
That is why I told you that. Original inhabitants are here in restructuring, another vocabulary that has been created in order to by the elites so that people cannot find so. Please, let us, the elites, this thing we are calculating and dealing with people in Nigeria, they were coming up. People are going to set up and set the agenda in the way they want. Please, let us have peace and not be dribbling things.
All right. Let's quickly wrap up with other issues now. Let's come to the. I come to history. Let's look at the political developments. As a lot of issues are on, and they are throwing out. Just 24 hours ago, we had a lot of crises, which many people think could have been avoided with the Who Don't Do campaign. We have the ultimatum that everybody is afraid: will it come? Will it not come? We have resource control, agitation. We have devolution of power. The politics in Nigeria.
Well, politicians must be very careful. You see, in the guise of trying to get power, we create so much divisiveness, forgetting that, let's even assume that you now take the power. The problem you have created will be there waiting for you.
After you have
won whatever you think you want to win. So I think Nigerians must be more responsible. I remember the vice president said something and people started making an issue out of it. I mean, the acting president. And I actually accept what he said. He said most of the people shouting this and that, some of them actually are doing it because they wanted something, which is true. The way people are thrown out of, you see, it's only in Nigeria that an industrialist is not necessarily the richest person. The richest person in Nigeria is likely to be a political person or someone affiliated to politics. Unlike in Senate climes where the richest people are the industrialists, the business people, not here.
Who live in the best, they have luxury.
Normally, celebrity, musicians, actors, all those things are the richest people in Senate climes. So politics here is a pot of soup for everybody. So that is why people will kill themselves to get there. So it's unfortunate that we are creating all this unnecessary hula baloo just because people want to be seen as we are there. The truth is, if we love this country, because for me, I don't have another passport. I have only one. I don't want Nigeria to go in flames.
You shouldn't have another one.
So many of them have other passports. That's why they want Nigeria to go up in flames. Because if something happens today, some of them will run away. I don't have anywhere I'm going to. And I don't want to be a refugee. So Nigerians, especially the elites, must be careful Because, like I said earlier on, the biggest problem of the normal man or ordinary man is he wants to be able to feed himself, feed his children, clothe and house them. Those are the basic needs of
Now let me come to Pastor Danladi. How do you think we can get out of this problem? Because you are talking about FCT now, where we can only talk about FCT when there is peace generally. There's a lot of agitation.
Yes.
Unnecessary sometimes.
To me, the simple way is that, first of all, Original Inhabitant Development Association is not a political group. It's a development association.
How do we...
What I'm saying, and I think Nigerian people should look for, especially the politicians and so on, they should see this situation, politics, clear that it is an area for an individual who look for that office to be a leader, not to be a ruler. A leader is somebody who is a model, both morally, physically, example in all ramifications of life, virtues of life. Rulers are going to dictate whether you are changing them, they will use model it. And that way will not make the system to work. That is why people and the country have refused to move, because we are having rulers, not leaders. Today, those who are leaders, they disguise and they get positions behind, they will clamor them inside the house, they abuse them because they are not leaders, they have been rulers. If we don't, and that's what Original Inhabitants is saying, that we need people, first of all, the people's mind to get that developed. Me and you, who are the ordinary people, should know that, so that we begin to fish out people who will be leaders, not rulers. But we're having rulers, and that's why, because they are having rulers, if you are after them, they do away with you. But if you're having leaders, when you tell them, leader, no, the leader was, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm here, I'm sorry, I apologize. And I've never heard a day Nigerian government told Nigerian people that Nigerian people were misled. What do we do if they are really to lead us? They want to rule people and they want to lead people. And we can't grow. And we want development. FCT is a model case. How can you say we are not here and we are here? And the system is deciding about the country in our place and we have nothing to do.
Okay. We need to begin to grow leadership. There's no question about that. I think it is I think it's the leadership recruitment process that is here. In our secondary schools, in our universities, what do we really take away from the point of when... That's
why I'm one of those people who think our educational system need to be totally overhauled.
So that
from the primary school level to the second, and I said it, the way our education system is structured, it was structured originally to be able to create middle-level workers,
manpower,
to help the white people work then when they were our colonial master. But we never overhauled it till date as we speak. So we need to start from that level. Overhaul our education system. If you speak with some of our people who say they are graduates or they have this certificate, you will be shocked the level of ignorance of people who supposedly are educated. So we need to, if you don't deal with the minds of the people, you begin to churn out very dangerous human beings with half-baked education, and they are even worse than people who are not educated and who didn't go to school, because you can't call them educated. People who go to school and are half-baked are more dangerous than people who didn't go to school.
Yeah, because they can be used for some
they are very dangerous. So we need to overhaul our education system so that we will have people who will understand that Nigeria is first and foremost the most important thing to every one of us.
Before we
cannot look at other things.
Well, our program will always seek to galvanize views, tell Nigerians, take Nigerians along in the course of the discussion, talking about the people, politics, and power. We bring in guests here who would help us analyze some of the issues, the situation, answer some of the knotty questions that are on top of the table, and our own interest is to create more cohesion, create unity, create a situation where all Nigerians have a sense of belonging, and that is why the program is on. We want to thank you for being part of the program today. When we come back in another 24 hours, we'll have other guests who will join us, but I must quickly thank Pastor J.G. Danladi, the President of Regional Inhabitants Development Association of the FCT in Abuja here. I told you that he is very, very unsettled by some of the things that are happening on behalf of his people. And I also had a political analyst, Ayo Bami Oyalowo. He is a member of the APC, and he has told us that government is doing everything, listening and collating all these views to be able to come up with the next line of action on what to do with the general definition of restructuring. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
And that is the program. Okiri Agbosorim is my name. Please do have a wonderful time out there and stay away from trouble. Thanks for staying with us.